Saad, you've had a few high points at this World Cup. Obviously, the century from Samra, and today with Jaskaran bowling really well, bringing you back into the game when Afghanistan were kind of setting themselves up for a huge total. So, what do you think are the positives for your team out of this tournament?
Yeah, lots of positive actually. It's a high-level competition. It doesn't get bigger than that. And we don't get to play against the top tier nations quite often. World Cup is the only stage where we get that opportunity. So it's always it's a learning ground for us. I think lots of positives came out of the tournament. Few individual performance. Yuvraj is one of them. Harsh Thakur had few good knocks. Bowling wise, Ansh Patel, myself, we picked up few wickets. Sana Kaleem had a few good spells. So all in all, few individual performances, but it's disappointing that we couldn't have a complete game. If batting did well, we lacked in the bowling department, or if the bowling did well, the batting kind of lacked. So we could not have a complete game where we could score a win. But still, lots of learning, lots of positive out of the tournament.
Yeah, just going from here, the T20 World Cup, obviously by looks of it, is going to expand further. But what do you like to see before the next edition of the T20 World Cup as with regards to Canada? Is it just about playing more associate countries, and more about playing the regular members in conditions where you'll play the World Cup? And secondly, how has been the experience just playing in front of huge crowds over here? Because it's something aside that you're not familiar with in Canada. So just talk about this experience of these two.
Yeah, as associate countries, we don't get to compete against the top tier nations. I think if there's one thing that I would like to change, it would be associate countries getting more opportunities to compete against some of the best nations, because that's the learning route. That's where you learn. It's also sort of hard for us because we don't fall under areas like Asia or some region, because in Asian teams they get to play Asia Cup and few other tournaments. We don't have anything like that. So if we can start something like that where ICC can help us play some of these regular countries a couple of games throughout the year, it will give us more exposure and more experience. Then we can reflect and learn from then and come better prepared in these global stage World Cup tournaments like these, rather than coming here and then just using it as a learning experience, because we don't have any exposure prior to coming to World Cup. You are thrown right into against the bigger opponents. We don't get any prior experience coming to the World Cup. So I hope that's something that ICC can do for us as associate nations. The more cricket we play in the associate circuit, it's better, but we need to find ways to play against the top nations.
Playing for the crowd?
Obviously it's there's a lot of mental pressure is there, when you play in front of the crowd, in front of the mass audience, not just the crowd at the ground, but also the very fact that the whole world is watching you. It puts you under a lot of pressure. But as cricketers, we have to find ways to control our nerves and focus on the job on hand. In associate crickets, even we play without crowds, but we have other kind of pressures. A lot of the tournaments we play, they're our qualifications are on the line, whether we have to play a tournament to regain a ODI status or to qualify for a World Cup. So it's a different kind of pressure, but that's pressure itself. As cricketers, we're just used to of controlling the pressure and staying in present.
Just a last bit for me, a lot of your associate teams, when you make it to the World Cup, there is invariably this talk of the novelty factor, the newbies, and all the talks are there, right? But is it just limited to that, and there's more for that? Would you like to show more than this, basically? Because yes, one edition, okay, second time also the same thing, third time you would like to sort of be seen as a different sort of a team moving forward?
100%. When you come to a competition, you wanna showcase the world, the talent that you have, and you wanna win some games. You wanna T20 is one format where anything can happen on the day. So obviously our goal is to showcase the world that we belong to this stage. So we want to cause a few upsets in the tournaments, somehow try to make it to the next round. USA did it the last time. We came close as well. We were in a tough group this time, but we are kind of disappointed that we should have walked away with at least 1 or 2 wins. But again, you only get 4 games to prove your worth in a World Cup. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But it's a part of a learning curve. But again, we want to learn and come back as a more mature team. We want to reflect to all the mistakes that we did, all the learnings, the positives that came out of it, and then use it to get better basically and come back stronger.